Hello everyone and welcome back to Gran Turismo 7. Today we have just 3 menu books left and we're going to be ticking off another one of these bonus menus. This one is the Hypercar Parade. Kind of an odd name for a race. Parade, you know, is generally, you don't have overtaking. That would be quite funny to see actually, but anyway. Yeah, so we have 3 races to do in the Hypercar Parade. The first one at Kyoto Driving Park, Yamagiwa and Miyabi, so the combined 2 circuits there. And we also have one at Le Mans and one at Trial Mountain. So 3 very different circuits to be racing these cars around. Fortunately for us, we do already have a hypercar. We have the Pagani Huayra. I have no clue how that is pronounced. Apparently it's a word from South America that means wind. I literally just had to Google that because I had no clue. But yeah, we've got the Pagani Huayra, and let's get into it. We'll go to Le Mans first, I think, and start with a circuit I know well, and go from there. So yeah, this should be an interesting type of racing, because hypercars, they're typically very quick in a straight line. When it comes to the braking and cornering, perhaps not so much. So yeah, it's very, very extreme as far as what can vaguely be classified as a road car. But anyway, we have basically no restrictions other than that it has to be a road car. And yeah, that leaves the event open to some of the craziest cars in the game. So we get going then, and yeah, we make the move straight away down the inside, and you can see already struggling to get the car turned. We just about keep it on the road through turn 1, and then we just slowly navigate our way through the next few corners. Now we'll see if we can get a good run on the Lamborghini, and now we're charging through the field. Another couple of overtakes there as we get past the SLR McLaren, Mercedes SLR McLaren there, and now we are closing in to the back of yet another Lamborghini. We'll make the move down the inside. We'll get ahead of the Murcielago. So yeah, a nice variety of very expensive cars in this race, and we are blazing past a lot of them at the moment. This Pagani Huayra is quite quick, and yeah, look at the straight line speed in particular is very, very good. And we've got a side-by-side battle here. Can we navigate our way past both of them? They go single file by the time we get there, and now we have the trouble of getting a stop for the chicane, which we still go a little bit deep for. Finding the limits in this car is an interesting task in and of itself. So we'll be doing that over the course of the race, but we're up and into 8th position so far after starting in 16th, so we're already halfway through the field in this 3-lap race. So this car's pretty good, and now we begin to close into the group ahead. I imagine the cars towards the front of the field may be a little bit faster, so we won't present it. I don't think we'll be leading the race by the end of lap 1, as we're now tucked in behind the McLaren F1, as we're right in behind. They're having a bit of a slide there on the exit, and we'll get through. And once the fastest car in the world was that McLaren F1, set the top speed record back in 1994, top speed of 355 kilometers per hour, and it took the mighty Bugatti Veyron over a decade later to finally break that record when it smashed through the 400 km/h mark, as we smash into the back of the Veyron and punt ourselves into the wall, punt the Veyron off the road, and we get re-overtaken. But we make our way past straight away, move ourselves back up into 4th place, where we now sit. But yeah, the McLaren F1, a revolutionary car for its time, and yeah, the Bugatti Veyron, absolutely insane as well, and really, I guess, set the tone in terms of the top speed record for production cars, because after that they traded for a while with a few other manufacturers. What else is on here? I've literally got the list open right now that I'm reading from. SSC Ultimate Aero took the record from the Bugatti Veyron 16.4, and the SSC had a top speed of 412 kilometers an hour, so what, just 4 kilometers an hour faster. and after that Bugatti took it back with the Bugatti Veyron Supersport, top speed of 431 kilometers an hour, really pushing the limits of what they can do with the Veyron package. And then most recently the Koenigsegg brand, the Agera RS, took the record in 2017, top speed of 447 kilometers per hour. So it's an ongoing battle every few years. Another brand or Bugatti seem to make something a little bit better, and it probably won't be too long before they start pushing towards the 500 at the rate they're going. But I guess we'll have to see what their plans are. But for the moment, focusing back on the race, I've been getting distracted as usual. We are a little way off the next car, so let's catch up to them. So we move on then to the start of the Mulsanne Straight, and we make the move up into third position. And then moving on once again to the end of the other sort of straightish bit as we head into the Porsche curves. I don't know enough of the names of the sections around this track, but anyway, let's see if we can make the move now on the Enzo Ferrari, sitting in second position right behind the race leader, the Porsche. But we'll worry about them in a moment as we try and go around the outside of the Ferrari. We'll get to the inside of the next corner, we'll get the nose in, and we'll have to force that way through a little bit, and the Vulcan sneaks through as well behind us. So nicely done by them. We're up now into second position, so let's chase down the race leader. And by the time we get to Tetra Rouge on the final of the 3 laps, we're close enough to potentially go for the move on the Porsche, and we'll go for the move in a straight line, and we'll get that done rather easily with our extra straight line speed. And we're up into first place now, so we can just push on to the end. So we continue on then to the final sector of the race. You can see running a bit wide, and the Vulcan sneaks through, so that car clearly a little faster than the pace it was showing earlier in the race, and they've taken the lead with just 4 corners left. So we're going to have to throw it down the inside here if we want to take this back. We'll barge our way through, going a bit deep there, and we're still running side by side to get back through, so we throw it down the inside again. Don't get anything near what might closely resemble an apex, but regardless, we'll cross the line despite cutting that final corner. But it's first place nonetheless. But that Vulcan is quite quick through the twistier sections. Kind of unusual for a hypercar, but I guess they're not all focused on straight line speed the way this car seems to be. But anyway, let's see. We got 115,000 credits for our efforts in that one, so that is the first race ticked off the list. So we move on to the next race then at Trial Mountain Circuit, and yeah, this one we're going to make one little modification to the car. We're going to buy the Sports Soft tyres just to help the car out in the corners, because this track has a lot more time turning than Le Mans. So yeah, we need to make sure we can get around all those corners. So Sports Soft tyres go on the car, make us a little bit faster over the course of the lap, and that'll be very beneficial to us. 5 laps on the board in this one, so let's get going for the Trial Mountain Hypercar Parade, and we'll immediately make one overtaker down the inside into the first corner. As we go a little bit deep out onto the grass, we're just about to keep it off the wall, but yeah, already again just overestimating the grip into turn 1, and now making a few overtakes down the inside up into 13th position. Can we maybe grab 12th as we get a nice run over the little crest, and around the outside we'll go up into P12. And I thought we were running a bit deep there, but we just about managed to get it turned back to the right, and now we head through the next section, coming up to the big long straight where I'm sure we will be able to gain a few places. We've got 2 cars right in front of us. We go a bit deep here though, that's going to compromise our exit a little bit, so we try to get back to the left to make these moves along the straight. There's one, and in no time at all we'll pass the other and up into 10th position by halfway through the first lap. Let's see if we can gain any more. We continue on later in the lap, we catch up to the Ford GT. Let's see if we can make the move down the inside, and we will do so. Next up is the McLaren F1 as we He was sliding all over the place in the previous race, and we'll make the move in a straight line relatively easily there. We've got a Ferrari up next as we are not really sure how to get past this one. We'll make the move down the inside of the final corner, way too deep though, and we find the barriers there, and the Ferrari gets back through. The McLaren tried, we get the power down, and we get racing once again, and now we're closing into the Ferrari. We'll make the move to the inside. They're going to cover it a little bit, but we'll get through and up into 7th position. Got a couple more cars right in front of us, so let's see if we can grab those positions too. Down the inside, bit of contact, and we get through. Next up is the Pagani Huayra, and we'll make the move down the inside of them too, up into the top 5 now. So good progress in the early stages of this one. Let's keep moving forward. We continue on then to the back straight. We catch up to the Lamborghini Veneno. We get past them in a straight line, and that's another crazy looking car. We'll get past them easily enough up into 4th position. We've got the Aston Martin Vulcan in front of us now, and we're going to test out the speed running strategy here. We get through up into 3rd position. That was very effective in this car. We move on then to the end of lap number 2, and we make the move on the Enzo Ferrari in a straight line relatively easily there, up into 2nd position, into the first corner yet again. On lap 3 we run a bit deep, but we'll get away with it. The race leader, the Porsche, is a fair way ahead, so let's focus and catch up to them. So we continue on then to the end of lap number 3, and I don't know if you can hear it in the background. There's a dog howling. It's the neighbor's dog. Every time the ice cream truck goes past, the dog starts howling. I don't know why, but it's only with the ice cream truck. I never hear it howl any other time. But anyway, that's a thing that's happening at the moment. Maybe they forgot his sprinkles once. Who knows? But anyway, we continue to put the pressure on the race leader, the Porsche 918. We'll see if we can make the move down the inside into turn 1. Can't get the move done there though. I have to stay behind for a little bit longer, maybe around the outside of turn 3. Bit of contact as we make our way through, but we'll get ahead and up into 1st position. We now cover the inside line. We're up into 1st place now, so hopefully we can just push on to the end with no further incident. And that is exactly what we do, as we cross the line to take victory by just over 3 seconds ahead of the Porsche in 2nd place. So managed to open the gap up a little bit by the end, and yeah, we got the job done here at Trial Mountain, and that is another 100,000 credits in the bank. 876,000 in total now. 2nd race ticked off the list. Let's move on to the final one at Kyoto Driving Park. So we get underway then for the final race, and we are staring straight into the sun here. We'll make our first overtake around the outside though, and that is one position made up into 15th. We'll see if we can make it 14th around the outside again, and we do so up into 13th now. We're easily making moves against these cars at the back. They're definitely not quite as quick as the likes of the Enzo, the Vulcan, the Porsche, the regular front runners in this race. But anyway, with all those overtakes we've been making, we're up into P12 as we now dive into the left-hander, into the shade, and we'll try and sneak our way to the inside. Bit of contact made, up into the top 10 now, so getting through the field quite quickly around this circuit. And whoa, car gets so light over that section as we now turn off the Yamagiwa circuit onto the Miyabi layout, and we have to navigate this much smaller track here, and then back onto the big one to finish off the lap. So yeah, there's honestly not too much to this one, as we now just head through this little chicane here, and then it's another big left U-turn, and that's really all there is to the Miyabi circuit. It's very simple, basic layout. Fun little track though, in small cars. But anyway, as we make our way around the outside, that's another move, and we're up into P6 now, so we are really flying through the field here as we go for another overtake down the inside of the Veyron, and we'll make the move stick probably one of the only cars where genuinely faster through the corners than is the Bugatti Veyron. Mighty fast in a straight line. As I said, held the production car top speed record for a couple of years, but didn't plan to go around corners. Bugatti, they're all about straight line speed with that car, but fair enough. If you're trying to break the record, there of course will need to be compromises. May not be the quickest thing over a lap, but very much was fast in a straight line. And once again, I said it before, set that benchmark that everyone else went chasing after. But anyway, we continue to push on, and we're with that move on the Veyron up into the top 5 now. We've got 4th place in sight, so let's see if we can catch up to them as we're now closing off the first lap of the race, and see if we can make the move down the inside, and we'll do so. Hard to pick the breaking point there with the sun obscuring view a little bit, but now running wide on the exit. No sun to blame there, just a bit of a mistake as we make the move down the inside, and we'll get ahead up into top 3 now as we overtook the Lamborghini Veneno. But once again, it's the usual suspects at the front of the field, the Enzo Ferrari and the Porsche 918, so let's see if we can pass the Enzo here down the inside. We are flying through the field here. We're not a lap and a half into the race, we're already up into 2nd position, whereas the Porsche, as the car again getting so light there, front wheels might even be off the ground, it's hard to say, but either way it is very unnerving. But the Porsche now right in front of us as we head around this tighter left hand corner, and now onto this little short straight before the chicane. Let's hopefully be able to get this right. Kind of missing that apex and getting the second one a lot more nicely. Now we're closing into the Porsche. Can we make the move here to the outside, to the inside? We might be able to sneak through because they're nowhere near the apex, and we will get through. Actually, I'm not sure if the apex is the curb or that white line. I'm not sure which actually delineates, you know, the track from not the track, if it's the curb or that line in that coloured section, I'm not sure. But anyway, either way, we are through and up into the race lead, and now we just need to push on to the end. And once again, we get to the end with no further incident, although the Aston Martin Vulcan right behind, putting the pressure on in the end, but we were able to hold them off. But they were very quick, the Vulcan, so I think they were starting further back in the field, but once they cleared the cars in front, they were every bit as fast as we were. Another 100,000 credits in the bank though, almost up to 1 million now, in the 3rd race of course, ticked off the list. We head back to the cafe, say hi to Luca once again, congratulations on completing a menu, I've got a present for you. Be sure to come by, pick it up, and there it is, our 6-star roulette ticket. So we'll see what we get from this one. And once again, we are guaranteed to win an engine swap, so let's see what this one is. The Roadster Shop Rampage engine. So the Roadster Shop Rampage is a Chevy Camaro 1970 hot rod with Chevy LS7 engine with 1 billion horsepower, so that'll be interesting to see how that engine goes. And looking at my list here, we can put that engine into the DMC DeLorean, so that is going to be interesting. Yeah, but look forward to trying that one in the near future, and we'll see how that goes. That's going to be crazy. But anyway, for now though, we will be heading to the Nissan dealership because we need to buy a new car to complete the next menu, and we are going to be getting the Nissan Z Performance 2023. This one, it's worth 69,660 credits. So, I mean 70,000 for rounding purposes. Fairly cheap. So, we'll grab that one and add that to our ever-expanding collection of cars. And this will complete our next extra menu. 69 collector score as well. Not that that's making a huge difference to our total. But anyway, that is that. So let's head back to the cafe and we will read about the Nissan Fairladies. So let's head in to the extra menus and locate this one. There it is, second down on the right. The Nissan Fairlady Z collection, and the prize car is the Gredi Fugu Z. Not one of these sort of tuned up cars. These cars, like the Roadster Rampage and the Gredi Fugu Z, they're actually added to the game because they won the Gran Turismo award at the SEMA Motor Show, which is pretty cool. That you can actually, if you tune up these sorts of cars, you can actually get one of your cars in the game if it wins the award, which is really cool. But there it is, the Gredi Fugu Z. So that is yet another car ticked off the list, and instantly we get our money back on the Fairlady. We spent $70,000 on that, and we get $300,000 worth of car just here. So that is absolutely awesome. But anyway, here it is, collection Nissan Fairlady Z. These are particularly notable models from Nissan's iconic Fairlady Z sports car range. It's a wonderful collection of cars. Fairlady Zs have been prized the world over for more than half a century now, constantly evolving over that period. It all started with the S30 Fairlady Z, which made its debut back in 1969. Nissan had been honing its sports car development skills long before the Fairlady Z appeared. In the 1950s, for example, it built the first Datsun Sports, emulating the open-top sports cars popular in Europe. Then in the 1960s, it developed the Datsun Fairlady series. Nissan carefully researched the traditional two-seater sports cars being produced in Europe, and used what they learned to create an all-new kind of sports car, one that was far more advanced, the Fairlady Z. Specifically, the first generation Fairlady Z, the S30, with its elegant coupe body. The S30 looked great and drove like a dream. What's more, it was also cheaper than its European counterparts. It would also go on to do well in motorsports, including Japanese touring car races and international rallies. 550,000 of these S30s were sold worldwide. As sports cars go, it was an enormous hit. That's how the legend of the Fairlady Z begins. The next chapter takes us to 1978, when the second generation S130 made its debut, followed by the third generation Z31 in 1983, which had an all-new engine, bodywork, and styling. The fourth generation Fairlady Z was the Z32, which first went on sale in 1989. It was fitted with a V6 twin-turbo engine, the most powerful that Nissan produced at the time. It was also the first Fairlady Z that featured a convertible model. The Z32 was beautiful to look at, and was also revolutionary in the way people had come to expect of the Fairlady Z. The fifth generation Fairlady Z, the Z33, did not appear until 2002. It had the unmistakable look of a Fairlady machine, and boasted a naturally aspirated engine as well as a FR layout. It was also relatively cheap for a sports car, thus continuing the tradition started with the first Fairlady Z. The 6th generation Z34's chassis featured a special wheelbase which made it drive like a real FR sports car. The latest addition to the Fairlady Z range came when the 7th generation was launched in 2021. The Fairlady Z range has countless fans all over the world, and many events are held for this community. Everyone has their favourite generation and favourite model, and every Fairlady Z is loved by someone. It doesn't matter which one you manage to get your hands on in the end, they're very special sports cars, one and all. Well, there we have it then. The end of another Gran Turismo episode. I think I'm going to end this one here. Slightly shorter than average, but regardless, that is all there is to show for this one. So, yeah, I'll say thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. I really do appreciate it. Feel free to give me some feedback in the comments. It is always very helpful. And other than that, I will see you next time. Goodbye.